I wanted to make a video talking about fatherhood. 28 years old. I got 6 kids, 4 daughters, 2 sons. I was 16, about to turn 17, about to have my first child, and I feel like I learned so much in fatherhood. One of the first lessons I learned in fatherhood was being intentional, intentional about spending time with your kids. And I've learned that a lot of fathers, including myself early on in my life, I didn't know how to be intentional and how to create moments. And I think that's one thing some fathers, I feel like I can give advice on doing, from being intentional about spending time with your kids, being intentional about creating those moments with your kids, how their life can change by just doing that, creating those moments. And man, just fatherhood is so interesting, especially if you didn't have a father growing up. It's like, how do you know the role you're supposed to play as a father, especially a young father that didn't have that growing up, didn't have a father to teach him about the manly things. I remember I had a conversation with my father one day, and I was telling him I'm about to change my tire, and I was trying to figure out I was doing something with my tire, and he was like, he had asked me if I knew how to change my tire, and that hit me. I said, dang, I mean, if I didn't know how to change a tire, it would be your fault because you didn't teach me. But that's just an example of, like, fatherhood on that aspect. And I feel like it's trial and error. It's learning your child. It's learning you. It's figuring out what you didn't know, and then teaching yourself so you can teach your child. And my advice I would give to the father is be intentional about the relationship with your children. Like, literally have conversations. I give my daughters an open space to speak to me. I let them know. I literally tell my daughters, I'm your protector. I'm your protector. I only know what you tell me. So if somebody is messing with you or bothering you or doing anything, you have to let me know for me to know. And I wanted to let them know that I am your protector. Daddy got you. And so, just the advice for the fathers, man. And when I say intentional, I mean being intentional, as far as like just spending time with them, creating those moments, doing picnics, doing daddy daughter days, doing daddy son days, literally going to go sit down and having lunch, literally going to go uh, uh, take walks, like literally going to go get ice cream, go look up where you at right now, going to go find different places to have ice cream. I give you an example. I remember one time I told my daughter I was going to take her on a daddy daughter date, one of my daughters, because I always take all of them. So if you do got a lot of children like me, I always say, spend that one-on-one time with your children. But my daughter had I told my daughter I wanted to take her on a date, and I was taking her on a date that day, and she had went to go put on a bright red dress, which let me know that she wasn't trying to go to the park. She was trying to spend time and go somewhere nice. And so I ended up putting me a nice outfit on, and then I ended up taking her to this place called the RH in Annapolis. It's a nice restaurant here in Indianapolis. It's like a mansion type of thing, but it was just something I wanted to create a moment that I know she'll never forget. Cause like if Daddy was intentional about spending time with me and noticed that like I wanted to go somewhere nice, that's my mindset. And so for me, that's another thing I teach my daughters is that like I teach them confidence. I tell them about affirmations. I teach them things. I have to be the one to tell them. Us as fathers got to be the one to tell our kids they're smart, they're beautiful. Even with my son, I grab my son and I pick him up. We'll look in the mirror together and I say I'm smart. He say I'm smart. Say I'm strong. He say I'm strong. Say I'm a king. He say I'm a king. I speak these things. I feel like it's so important for your kids to hear that from you first. Imagine how different you would be if your mother or your father told you that and told you to tell yourself that, how mentally strong you would have been earlier on in life. Oh man, that's so deep to me. That so kind of gave me chills just thinking about that. And it's like it becomes performative when you're posting it and when you're just showcasing it. These are things that I do on the go, and I feel like these are things that I developed because I felt like I needed it and wanted myself. Sometimes my feelings be hurt because I might not know something that I should know as a man because I didn't get taught from another man. So us as fathers, we have to teach our daughters, we have to teach our sons. I always like to call it a daily deposit. What are you depositing into your kid? If you want your kid to make wise decisions as they grow, we have to pour into them because the world is already pouring into our children in school, and they're getting influenced by their friends, and the world is pouring. So we have to pour that into our children so they can make decisions. I went left, but because I got a little deep and emotional with just thinking about it. Dang, it just hit me that like, wow, for me to not have a father. Well, I had a father. Let me explain that real quick. You ever heard somebody was like they had a present father, but he wasn't present? Like he was there, but he wasn't there. So for instance, um, I would go over to my dad's house on a weekend. My mom would drop us off, me and my twin sister. She would drop us off on a weekend over there. And I had 7 step siblings. He married a woman with 7 kids. And we would go over there for the kids. And my dad would be in a room watching TV all the time. He's never once took us out to a park, never once took us to go get ice cream, never once did anything as far as activities is what I'm talking about in this video about spending that quality time and being an intentional father, creating those moments. I never had that with my father. And not to say he's a great man and great, he worked at his job, all of that, not taking away from none of that, but as far as the father. But this is something that I learned. Just something that I learned. A lot of people, they don't know, just like how me as a man, I don't know certain things. I have to teach myself trial and error because I didn't have a father. He didn't have a father, so he didn't know how to be a father. Now, some people can use that as an excuse. Some people can say it's a reason why I didn't do. Me, I chose to not use it as an excuse as far as what I'm going to do and create for my children, you know, and that's what he had to fight. So I just wanted to give a little clarity on that. I could call my father, and we have a relationship to where I could call him, or I could even go over his house now, but he didn't have that intentional teaching me the manly things that I needed to know as a young man when I was younger, growing up. Hence, probably why I had a child young. So, just for the fathers, man, I hope it was something out of this video that you picked up and you learned. Rather you're an older father, rather you're a young father, rather you're a new father. For the new fathers, I would say, live for you. Live for you so you can do for your kids. You have to put you first. I wish I knew that earlier on. Learn to live for you. Learn to live for you. Do for you. Mentally, make sure your mental is straight. You can't even make wise decisions if your mind ain't right. Physically, make sure you feeling good because your physical mess with your mental mess with your physical, and spiritually, oh man. And if all of those are aligned, spiritually, mentally, physically, oh, you a monster. Oh, you a monster. So for the older man, be intentional, man. It's like, man, I yearn for the father relationship. I yearn to spend time with my father to this day, 28 years old. I yearn to learn him because we have traits of our fathers. We have questions that we need answers to. We have things that being young man that we need and we're looking for. And this is on the flip side of just fatherhood. So I just hope that I gave something that the fathers that aren't as active could get something. It doesn't take having a plan 2 weeks out. I have a father that he may say, "Oh, we could go out to dinner or we could go to lunch. Let's do it next Saturday." Man, don't take that. We could do that today. We could do that tomorrow. Today is Saturday. Today is Sunday. We can do it later on today. We can do it. It doesn't take all of that, man. It's so simple. So central, just being intentional. One more thing, I don't know why I keep trying to stop this video because I got so much that I want to say. So, for instance, being an intentional father, I'll tell you a few things that I did. I went to Dollar Tree to go grab some canvases for me and my kids to paint. That's cheap, a fun activity to do with your kids, something that's memorable. I don't know if y'all know about ChatGPT. Put in ChatGPT, create me. So I put our picture in ChatGPT of me and each of my children, and I said, create me a coloring sheet. Printed that out, color with my kids. It's a little park to where I wanted to have a picnic with me and my I had my two daughters, another daddy daughter date. Man, took my daughters out on a picnic, got some fruit, got some waters, got some kites. Man, just being intentional, thinking outside the box as a father, creating these moments. Me and my son, I go get a basketball. Me and him will go play. Man, I take him to go. We'll go get some lunch and go grab him a toy from Five Below. Just being an intentional father, just learning, just learning, just learning my kids and just having a conversation because I feel like if you could build the relationship with your children early on, and it's just me as a younger father, just trying to be intentional, trying to learn, trying to grow, trying to create those moments. Man, time is so short, life is so short. You have to create those moments. You don't want to regret not having those moments with your children. And I think oftentimes a lot of fathers that's a little older than us, or fathers that that just wasn't there for their children. I heard a lady say that, man, the guy said that he wasn't in his son's life, so he felt like now that he got older, his son wouldn't need him, so he didn't feel like he was needed. He didn't feel like being around his son anymore because he felt like his son didn't need him. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of selfish because it's like, how did you make it about you? How did you make that about you? And I understand though. I understand it's like, but when you want something and you're intentional about something, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional and create that yourself. So I talk a lot about that, about being intentional in life and just in general, because we have to be intentional about what it is that we want. And if we really want it, we have to create those moments. I'll give you an example. I never seen my father throw a football. I never seen my father play basketball. So I decided to go grab a basketball, text my father, let him know I wanted to spend that time with him. I think that was we in the year 2026. I think that was in the year 2023 when I did that. I wanted to create that. I wanted to write that off my checklist. I had to be intentional about creating that moment. Some people aren't intentional. Some people don't know how to create those moments. And so I guess that's why I wanted to create this video to talk to the young and the older fathers. It's like it's our job to be intentional. It's our job to pour in our kids, or somebody else will. Somebody else will, and we can't complain about that. And so just the father, just I don't know. I didn't want to get too emotional, too deep about it, but I just hope y'all was able to take something out of this.